Welcome into the Casual Gaming Conversation. I'm Connor. That's Nick. This is your weekly gaming podcast from Ep.46. This week we're talking about review scores, what we love about them, what we hate about them, how we personally look at review scores, how we go about our review process. It's a slow period in gaming, so we wanted to take the time to just kind of discuss something that gets talked about pretty regularly, the all-elusive 7 out of 10 that people like to discuss ad nauseum. So we're going to get into all that. Of course, you got your hot takes, and then we're going to talk about games with cool art styles. Where that's the draft for this week. How we doing today, Nick?
Doing well. Not hungover, which is a dub, because yesterday we played a lot of college football, drank a lot of beers. It was definitely a process yesterday. And then my night was just so many video games. I played so much freaking NCAA football, and I played a lot of Concord. Man, I'm so excited to talk to you about both those things today alongside our major discussion. Connor heard me say like 8 times today, man, I'm just really excited for the pod today because I just think that it's going to be a super fun pod. I'm feeling good, though. Overall, I'm at a 7 out of 10. Get it? Because we're going to talk about review scores.
Yeah.
How are you feeling?
I'm good. I also played a lot of games yesterday. I did make a bit of a mistake. I took a late nap. I ate dinner, then it was like, okay, I'm really tired. I don't think I can do anything right now with how tired I am. So I'm gonna lay down for 20 minutes. 20 minutes turned into 45 minutes, of course. And then I just stayed up until like 3 a.m. because of it, which is what happens every single time.
It's never a good thing when both of us are texting each other at like 1:45. Hey, how are you feeling about Concord? Like that's not a good thing when we both have to wake up and be on content ready to rock at 9:30. That's not the best vibe.
I mean, it is what it is. I won my games Valorant. I played a bunch of Concord, getting deeper into BioShock Infinite, and we'll just use that to roll right into the housekeeping because if you are not in the Discord and you haven't been staying up to date on our streams or anything, we did announce that based off of people wanting it last week, based off our discussion on BioShock and it being a slow period, we are going to do a BioShock Infinite review in 2024. We're both playing it right now. Nick, for the first time. This is like my 3rd time playing it, I believe. So if you want to treat this as like a video game book club, you should get on it, play through it this week. We're going to do a podcast next week on BioShock Infinite, so look forward to that. Excuse me. Along with that, for the rest of the housekeeping, Extra Life, August 3rd, 24-hour stream raising money for Cincinnati Children's Hospital. Me, Nick, Brady, Shane, Braden. We also have some special guests, Serum and Jacob Stevens from TikTok, Park and Harbor from Twitch, and Andy Cortez and Snow Mike from Kinda Funny playing Valorant with us, and then the others are playing Among Us, so they'll make special appearances, which will be a lot of fun. Very excited about that. Whole thermometer, whole wheel spins. It's going to be a lot of fun. Can't wait for that.
I mean, at this point, their announcement video will not be up, so I'm going to hold off from discussing the thermometer and stuff like that,
Yeah.
But it's good, guys. It's really good. We have a terrific thermometer to fill out the rest of the year. We have the wheel spins. We have a couple of very fun things that we're doing with the wheel this time around that we haven't fully gone into, and we will eventually. It is going to be the best stream this year. I keep on saying it on stream, and I don't think I've said it on a podcast yet. I do like our planning for the streams and like what we're playing and stuff like that. I don't know how we're gonna outdo this stream. I'm always thinking if there's a way for us to do this or that, we can do better next time. This lineup of content is the best lineup of content I think I personally can produce in 24 hours. And doing it with the boys, we have a great crew. Obviously, the guests you mentioned. Shout out to all of them for communicating really well and making sure that it's on their schedule and they're excited to play some awesome games with us during the after an already amazing rock block of Connor playing Halo Reach again and seeing if he's wrong, because he is about that game being bad, and then us playing D&D, Connor Brady's first time. This is as good as it gets from a content slate, and I'm really, really excited. And the wheel spins and the thermometer, and obviously it being a great cause, is just such a benefit to this because, I mean, if we're going to bring it really well for something, it should be for Extra Life.
For the record, I don't think Halo Reach is bad. I just think it's the worst Halo campaign.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah.
It's still, not the worst Halo campaign.
All right,
Did you play 5?
Yep. I played all of them. Halo 5 still captures the essence of what makes Halo Halo. Halo Reach is a Call of Duty game,
Okay, but it's like a really fucking amazing Call of
but
Duty
it's
game.
not Halo.
That's fine. It
No,
actually is. It's
not
called
fine.
Halo, so it is Halo, and it's the best version of
It's
it.
not what I want out of a Halo game at all.
I mean, I loved it.
That's like saying that like Led Zeppelin's great, and well, we also have Greta Van Fleet, and Greta Van Fleet is just like a knockoff Led Zeppelin. Halo Reach is a knockoff Call of Duty.
No, Halo.
It might be pretty good or whatever, but it's still a knockoff.
Yeah, but it's using the Halo weapons and it works really well. I think Halo Reach is immaculate.
Upsets me.
For me, it's my second favorite Halo game.
I know,
So
I know
I'm
a lot
very
of people really
excited
like it.
for
I get
Connor
it.
to play that again. D&D is going to be fucking awesome. We're going to be building our characters next weekend too, which will be a ton of fun doing that with the squad. Shout out to Shane and Braden participating in the whole deal. Braden going to be helping with the late night crew. He's coming in at 5 a.m. to help finish out the stream and everything. Big ups to him. 10 a.m. August 3rd, kicking it off. Ton of fun. Very, very, very excited.
Outside of that, we have our normal streams Monday through Thursday, 7 to 10 Eastern Standard Time. Nick and Brady are playing Uncharted 3 on the Monday stream. Me and Nick are playing Kingdom Hearts 2, Nick's first ever playthrough, on Tuesdays and Thursdays. And I am making my way through Hollow Knight. Apparently, I'm 75% of the way done.
Oh, really?
So I've
Oh,
been told.
we definitely have more Hollow Knight streams planned than beyond what you're doing, which is awesome.
I was told like 30 hours, and I think this is like I think I'm like 15 in.
Yeah, I think that you're
Yeah.
coming up on your 6th, maybe 7th stream.
I'm doing some optional areas too.
Oh, nice.
Like I'm just being told where to go, basically,
Yeah.
by Drifter. So
That's got to help
waiting for
take
Silksong.
some of the time down a little
100%.
bit. Yeah.
So that's been helpful, but we're doing that on Wednesdays. So look forward to all of that. As usual, we have merch and the Discord link in the bio on our TikTok. So make sure you go join the community over on Discord and buy shirts if you want to help support the channel.
Also, just to keep it easy, if you really want some merch like this amazing mug, it's Co-op 64 store. It's COOP64 store.com. Like, it's super easy to go and just type in. So if you're like, I don't want to go and like look around for it, it's Co-op64 store.com. It's really simple. So check that out.
Alrighty, that's your housekeeping for you. Let's get into the hot takes.
Oh my gosh.
Did you? I'll kick it off this week.
Okay.
I don't know if you did it first last week, but I'll just
Yeah.
handle it. I have a very simple one this week.
Okay.
My gaming hot for. Wow. Okay. All right.
Came in hot.
Run it back. My gaming hot take for this week is that release order is always the right order. I'm so sick of seeing people say that chronological order, just like go into Kingdom Hearts, do it chronological. I don't think it's smart that Metal Gear Solid is doing Delta and doing 3 story first just because it's first in the timeline. I think you should always play these series in chronological order of when they released. And that goes for movies as well. So I just want to say that, put it on the record. Play Kingdom Hearts in the order it comes on the collection, please. I am begging you. I don't care that Birth by Sleep is the first in the timeline or whatever, or technically back cover the movie is. Imagine watching back cover first as your first Kingdom Hearts thing. That would be insanity. Don't do it. Just play in release order, please.
Nice. My gaming hot take is one that Connor is not going to like too much.
Oh, no.
My gaming hot take is I am all about video game adaptations. I'm somebody that is a huge fan of getting to take the medium that we know and love and bring it to other people to go and have more people get interested in video games. I think that that is a great thing. I think that's an awesome thing. The sales numbers of The Last of Us Part 1 skyrocketed after Season 1. Everyone hops back into Fallout. When it's good, it's really good. And we're starting to figure it out. The Last of Us and Fallout are great adaptations. The Sonic movies are really good. Detective Pikachu, I know, is about 5 or 6 years ago at this point, is awesome. We're figuring it out. We know how to do this well now. Cyberpunk Edge Runners, Arcane are some of the best TV out there. We can take these adaptations and make something cool within the worlds. I do think that Fallout and Arcane are the better examples of it, of not just retelling something, but taking the world and then going and doing something cool with it. The Last of Us, though, is just so freaking unbelievable that I think everyone should experience that story. I'm all about it. I really do enjoy these adaptations. It's a great way to discuss gaming with people that don't really love gaming, like the amount of great conversations I've had about The Last of Us just from the HBO show. There are many people I've discussed The Last of Us with that would never pick up a video game controller, but now they have that interest. And so I'm just somebody that I don't think it's necessary, but I like it. Like I want more people to be interested in video games, and that's a great way to get more people interested in. So I'm all about the video game adaptation.
Yeah, I fundamentally disagree with this, but you already know that. If you've listened to the podcast for a while, I've already expressed my distaste for adaptations. They're never as good as the source material, ever. Video games are, I don't want to be like, have a superiority complex or whatever here, but like, they're just the better medium in almost every way. The Last of Us is, if that's the peak of live action television you can get for an adaptation, and it's still like 2 points worse than the game, then that's a problem.
Arcane is one of the best shows.
It's not an adaptation. It's an original story.
Okay, and so are you down
Right?
for that? Can you vibe with that? Sonic, Detective Pikachu being its own thing. Like those are
I like
original
that.
things in the worord.
I like that more, but like then you also have like stuff like Fallout, which I think is a good television show. It's not like great or anything. Just go play Fallout.
I think, or go.
don't know.
I'd rather go and watch the show than play Fallout.
I just think a lot of discussion around adaptations comes down to people wanting validity for their favorite video games and being like, oh, well, Fallout got a show, and now people like normal people are gonna like it, and it's like, we don't need that. You can just enjoy Fallout.
Or you can just enjoy the fact that more people are going to enjoy Fallout. Like, why do we have to not let more people enjoy Fallout? Because now more people are playing Fallout. Like, Fallout 76, huge boost in numbers. Fallout 4, huge boost in numbers. Like, might as well have more people enjoy the thing that we already love. And if they don't want to take that next step, it's a good thing for the fans of the video games in the first place. I want more Fallout. We can't get a game up because it takes 5 years to develop games. Now let's do a season of a show and make a cool story.
I'm not really arguing that like it's just bad totally for these to exist. I'm just saying that I personally don't like them. So
okay. Yeah, that's fine.
All right, let's get into
did you like? I knew that like this was. I thought this hot take on Monday, and I was like, this could end in a long discussion. But this is a prime example of why we love this podcast, because we can just have a discussion, disagree, and then move the fuck on. It's fun.
Right on. So we're gonna get into a discussion on review scores, which, as somebody who has grown up reading IGN and like been inspired by people putting out reviews and everything, I think review scores are such a fascinating thing that continuously comes up on their validity, their problems, their value. Why do we still put scores on things? So there's a bunch of discussion points that I have written down here, but to kick it off, we want to talk about our personal scale for Co-op 64 because we utilize a 20-point scale. Nick, why do we do that? Why did we go with the 20-point scale?
I think that the biggest reason was we wanted to use descriptors that like you understood what the difference between an 8 and a 9 is, and have something in between those numbers to really get into the minutia of our thoughts. Like if I gave a score a 8 or a 9, that's like, okay, should I buy it? Should I not? But if I give it an 8.5, that to me says, okay, that's a really, really quality game that's beyond just a really great game. I should probably get after it and buy it. But then an 8 invites discussion. A 7 invites discussion. A 9 invites discussion beyond why it's amazing. I think that review scores are so important to holistically look at games, to have a discussion for consumers. But then when it comes to our own conversational piece, which that's what this podcast is for, and that's why we review games on a 20-point scale, it invites more conversation and discussion. If we both gave, there's so many games this year that we disagree on a 0.5, and that's awesome because then we're able to have a further discussion compared to, I think that we would both result in whole numbers pretty often that would be the same and have a little bit less interest in the discussion.
Yeah, for me, the 0.5 allows some sort of ranking in between games, if that makes sense. Like, I need that 0.5 to be like, well, I like this a little bit better than this. I like this a little bit worse. And having that 0.5 gives some sort of flexibility to have some sort of differentiator between games that I think are on a similar level, if that makes sense. 8 and 9 and 7 and 8 feels so different for whatever reason. And having those 0.5s allows, like, a 7.5, in my opinion, feels so much better than a 7. Like, I would be interested in playing a 7.5, but a hard 7 sometimes kind of like puts me off.
Yeah. And that also means like we'll get into what a 7 means, but like A 7.5 is a definitive like, oh, like there's something more. There's some more juice behind
Right.
just like your really solid AAA game that has a bunch of flaws, but it also core at its core is really good. Like that for me is why a 7.5 is a super value and 8.5 is super value. And for me, most importantly, the 9.5 is super valuable. There's so many amazing titles that for me it allows you to differentiate being like, this game's really amazing. And then when you give it a 9.5, I'm talking about last year alone, I gave 4 games 9.5s because for me, those 4 games are next to all timers. Tears of the Kingdom, Hi-Fi Rush, Resident Evil 4 Remake. Oh, I think I gave 5. Alan Wake 2 and Final Fantasy 16 are all some of the most amazing games within all of gaming. They are truly special beyond something else. Like with Hi-Fi Rush, for example, I can go and be like, this is the example for an action rhythm game. Like this is the standard for it. What's
Solid
up?
8 out of 10 for me.
They're wild.
It's great. It's a
wild.
great game.
Some of the best boss fights in gaming. The way that the world utilizes music, the art style. Honestly,
great.
I should have fucking put Hi-Fi Rush on my art style draft list. Like it is so unbelievable. And then for Final Fantasy 16, like boss fights, music, it is 10 out of 10. It has 10 out of 10 moments, and it has a lot of them. Alan Wake 2, we sing is probably one of the best moments of last year. Like
the only game on that list that you just said that I would give a 9.5 is Alan Wake 2.
Resident Evil 4 Remake, you wouldn't?
I would give that an 8.5.
Whoa.
It's great.
Oh, dude, I think that game is nearly flawless. Like I could make a case that that's a 10. That is my like when I'm doing my 10 list, that is a like on the doorstep of like what a masterpiece is to me. And that's a big thing for me personally, where like I love certain games so much, and then there are the things like Hellblade 2 that I think is a very interesting discussion where that lands. If I had to give it between an 8 and 9, I would land to an 8. If I had to give all of those games that I just mentioned a 9 or a 10, I would give them all a 9. But the 9.5 allows the flexibility to be like, I'm giving it that extra notch compared to something like Resident Evil 7, which I'm like, that's an amazing game. That is a pure 9 to me, 100% down the barrel 9. Like that just makes sense to me. But I genuinely think all 4 of those games are a notch above Resident Evil 7, but do not hit that masterpiece level for me.
Right.
0.5s are immensely important to myself and our scale.
Yeah. So let's talk about descriptors for each major point, if that makes sense.
Yep.
Like, I think the best way to do this, because I think when you get into the bad, it's just different levels of bad.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like 1, 2, 3, and 4. Like 4 for me is bad.
Yeah.
And then 3 is like awful, and then like one is like completely broken, like barely playable.
1 is unplayable. 2 is next to unplayable for me,
Yeah.
where it's like you can play it, but you really probably shouldn't. 3 is this has genuinely like flawed mechanics, but is still somewhat playable. And then 4 for me is this is just a bad video game. It's playable, but
Right.
it's bad. Like it's not good. There's not a moment there like it's good. For me, a 5 is I like the word mid a lot because
I
I'm like
meh. It's just like a whatever. Like I like to use a whatever burger. Like it's just I don't feel anything about this. I don't feel like my experience was necessarily negative, but it just kind of happened to me. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
That's how I feel about Hellblade.
I was about to say Hellblade's a great example for you from this year. For me, that game is multiverses. Like that game is just like fucking whatever. It's not bad. It works. I don't give a flying fuck about multiverses. I played it for I think 2 total hours, and I was listening to podcasts while playing it because I'm like, I like you could not get me to play that game without a podcast on or music on or something that's just gonna like stimulate my mind beyond what is happening on screen. It works well. It's a fully functioning fighting game. It has a decent roster, like, but it's just so whatever. Like I don't fucking care.
What would you give a 4 out of 10? Do you have any of that in your back pocket?
Like a 4 out of 10 is the definition of like bad. So
What game?
I don't have
For
something
me, it's
like
Killzone 2 recently.
Yeah, that's a great pull.
I thought that game was bad. I thought the shooting was bad. I thought the art style was bad. I thought the characters and the world were bad. I do not think that's a good game. So that's my example for that. Then moving up to a 6, we have fine is the word I would use.
I see like the word okay.
Okay.
Like it's okay.
Like the one that jumps to mind for me most recently is Foam Stars.
Yep, that we both gave that 6.
You can have some fun with it. Like there's some merit to it existing, but it doesn't really go into that level of being good.
By the way, I now have a solid bad. I'm going to go with 1-2 Switch. That's a game that we brought up earlier on content today. Like, that game is just bad. I think that's a bad video game.
I think that's a fine video game.
Okay. I think that is
I would
like...
give it a 6 out of 10 probably.
Really? Oh, I think that game is
There's fun to it. It's like
no,
Foam
it's
Stars.
not.
Yes, it is. There's merit to 1-2 Switch in the same way that Foam Stars has merit.
I don't think so.
You could go with is it Everybody 1-2 Switch? The sequel, the one that
yes.
like just they farted out.
for me, a fine game on the other side of a party game is Nintendo Switch Sports. I would give that a 6 out of 10. I think that game is like, I had a ton of fun with it, like, but I think that it is completely undercooked. I think that there is not a lot of effort that went into it. I think that the game's mechanics lose its luster after like 30 minutes a piece. I think that bowling's mechanic also feels just so much worse, and tennis so much worse than Wii Sports, because you know what that's supposed to feel like, and it just doesn't work.
Apparently, it's too easy. Is that what
it's
say?
A bit easy? As someone that really thinks that the spin mechanic in Wii Bowling works terrifically, it doesn't feel right. Yeah, it has it, but it doesn't feel right. Like,
I saw people playing the basketball mode, and it's literally one after the next.
Well,
you can go on autopilot and get all of them.
Yeah, like the Switch Sports, the Wii Sports Resort, the basketball mechanic, the drop down to pick up the ball, go up, time your shot well, and you're not hitting a perfect. Like, if you play that game 100 times, you probably won't hit it perfect.
Right.
Like, that is good for me. Like, I want a level of challenge, a reason to come back. It's a little too easy. That, for me, is that perfect. Like, that's a 6 out of 10 for me when it comes to a party fun game. And would I put that on the level of 1-2 Switch? Fuck no. 1-2 Switch is a 4.5 to me. I would say it's a little bit above bad, but it's definitely worse than meh.
The one that came to mind for me for 6 out of 10 was Super Mario Party.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
oh,
it's just fine. Like,
yeah.
it's got some merit to it. Like, you can have like a fun afternoon with it, but for the most part, it doesn't do anything very good. It's probably the worst Mario Party game ever.
I would give it a 6.5. As someone that's probably played around 10 hours of it. Like, I
Mario
think
Party
that,
10 might be worse, actually.
Yeah, I think that it's a really solid, well-developed game. Like, the game sense is still there. It's still boards, but the boards are not interesting.
Would you call it good?
No, I wouldn't.
See,
so that's why I said 6.5.
Yeah.
Like, it's not. We're rocking. It's okay. Like, but it's really okay. Like, I've had fun playing that game. 4 players. I remember being over my childhood best friends, the Lucits. We had a big projector screen going. We're playing Mario Party, having a fun time. But it's like it's a fun time. It's not. And Foam Stars is another great example. That game's very undercooked, but like, you can have fun with it. It's okay.
Yeah.
It's all right.
And then a 7 out of 10 is good. Yep. We're going to go in depth on the 7 out of 10 later.
Yeah.
But for me, just a good video game. Rise of the Ronin is what comes to mind from this year. I think that game has a lot of merit in its gameplay. Its world design is fine. It's surface level. It's fun to run around and collect cats. It's fun to clear up bases and get more of that gameplay. The story is whatever. The characters are whatever. But for the most part, I had a good time with that game.
Yeah, for me, my go-to is Mario Golf, the latest one on the Switch. I believe it's like, it's not Superstars, but it's the latest Mario Golf title. I should have looked up the title. I can get it in a moment when you start speaking. But that game is a good time. It doesn't have the like online that I think it should. It doesn't have the extra modes that I think it should to really push it. Yeah, it doesn't have the extras, but it's a good time. I played probably like 7 or 8 or honestly 10 or 11 hours of Mario Golf. I think it's rock solid. It's a good fucking game. It's not a great game. It's not a 7.5 even. I think it's just a really solid golf game with the Mario characters. Let you have some fun. A few good courses, but like, my main thing is there's not like a skill gap that really makes it awesome. I played on stream, I think, before Co-op 64, like 6 hours-ish, and on stream every single time. I'm having a good time, not having a great time. It's mainly about playing with your friends and everything and having that fun together, and a lot of games do that. It's a good time. It's not beyond anything else.
And then we have an 8, and I think a lot of games fall under 8. I think that the base level for a lot of AAA and a lot of indie games, the high-profile indie games, are an 8 out of 10. What are you thinking? Like,
you're saying Undertale.
Yeah, Undertale is an 8 out of 10.
Which is insane to me.
Fire Emblem 3 Houses is an 8 out of 10. You got anything?
from this year, I gave Grand Blue Fantasy Relink an 8 out of 10.
Yeah,
Like
that's fair.
that game has great action mechanics, solid music, fun characters, a story that's serviceable. It works.
Spider-Man 2 from last year is an 8 out of 10.
It's an
Eight.
8.5 to me nowadays, but because I do think that boss rush at the end is something I think about consistently still.
I don't remember anything. I mean, I remember that game, but like, man, I don't think about it at all.
Just looking at some games from this year that we've played and got after. Something. Sorry, 6 out of 10. I remember writing this down, being like, that is a 6 out of 10 game. It is perfectly okay. X Stuff Flying from this year. It's all right,
Dude. That's such an
6 out of 10.
interesting game. Like, I thought that was gonna blow up way more than it did. It kind of just came and went.
Yeah. Also from this year, I have said it, and Connor's gonna beat my ass on it. I would give Final Fantasy 9 an 8 out of 10, a straight 8. I think that game's great.
That's fine.
But like, I don't think it's beyond that.
It's great. Like,
Yeah.
that's the thing. Like, people get so mad at the 8 out of 10 if it's like one of those games that are considered like the greats. Like, if somebody gave Elden Ring an 8, people are going to be like, what, an 8? But that means it's a great video game. Like, that's fine, guys. People, the fact that it seems like the bar keeps getting higher and higher. Like, 7 used to be like, okay, that's still something I'm interested in buying.
Yeah.
And now it's like, it needs to be an 8 for you to even be interested in buying for people. And if it's not a 9, it's like, oh, this is a failure. Like, the game that comes to mind for me is Starfield.
Yeah.
For like reviews, that has like an 84 on Metacritic. And people talk about that game like it sucks, or like they can't, like it's not worth buying because it has an 84.
Yeah, I do believe that it is a little bit lower than an 84. I'm just double checking.
It was at launch. I think it was 87 at launch.
It was an 87 at launch. It's now sits at an 83, which is, like you said, great game.
And people talk about it like it's horrible, or like was received really not well. It was received not well by the masses, but people were like, oh, 83, this game's a fucking joke. It's like, I don't know, man. Like, 83 is a pretty solid Metacritic score. Same with Hellblade from earlier this year.
Yeah.
It has an 81.
I think so. Yeah.
And so does Helldivers, I think, has like a low 80s as well.
I think it's an 81 or 82,
And
which is wild.
And people
to
talk
me.
about Hellblade like it's fucking horrible, and people talk about Helldivers like it's a great game. So like these numbers mean fucking nothing, like overall.
But
at the end of the
it's all
day.
about personal taste, and then a
Right.
big thing for us is like lining up your reviewers with people you listen to.
Yeah,
for
we'll
me.
get more into that.
Oh,
later.
okay,
Yeah.
cool. But also another 8 out of 10 I want to throw out that we played this year. TMNT Shredder's Revenge. That game is fucking awesome.
Yeah, that game was
great beat 'em up, great art style, ton of fun, a lot of laughs.
Maybe
like,
definition of an 8, right?
yeah,
there.
like that
Yeah.
is a fucking 8 out of 10 video game, and I'm all about it. Like
Yeah.
that is, I want to play more games like Shredder's Revenge, and that means that like it is 8. It's great. It left an impact on me. When I think of great beat 'em ups, I think of that because it's a great game. It's great.
I wonder if there's a beat 'em up that could be like a 10 out of 10. I'm sure that exists for somebody, but for me, like, it's just a genre that I feel like can't really exceed an 8.5.
I would love to play Scott Pilgrim together sometime.
fun.
That's
But
a
that's
great
like an
beat 'em
8 out of
up.
10
Yeah, I
too,
think that's a
yeah.
great game.
All right, the 9 out of 10. This is where we get into the big dogs, the best of the best. For me, something like Ghost of Tsushima. It's a 9 out of 10. What else jumps to mind? Catherine, I think, is a 9 out of 10. I don't know why that was the game that came to mind. What else do we have here?
For me, Wii Sports Resort came up to my mind. Black Ops 1 and I would say Black Ops 2 are both 9 out of 10s for me. Like, those are just really fucking great. Honestly,
Halo 3 for me.
throw it in. It's interesting. I would probably say Black Ops 3 is also a 9 out of 10. Oh, the best of the best Call of Duties, a lot of them are 9 out of 10s for me.
Oh, I gave Animal Well a 9 out of 10 for this year.
Yep. I would give GoldenEye a 9 out of 10. I would give a major one. Talking about an amazing experience, and I feel like we're talking about like long games, party games, whatever. What Remains of Edith Finch that I played this year was amazing, just simply amazing. I would give that a solid 9 out of 10.
Wow.
And then, like I said earlier, Resident Evil 7. That game's fucking amazing. Like a 9 out of 10. I know I give a lot of higher scores on the channel compared to Connor. Like, that is just something that happens. Connor thinks I should be a little bit more critical.
You gotta be more discerning.
But I do think that, like, a lot of these fucking games that, especially I've been playing this year, we joke all the time. I'm on like the sun run right now, where I'm just only playing fucking bangers.
What does that mean? The sun run?
A sun run? It's a poker term when you're on, when you're just like consistently, you can't lose a pot.
Okay.
You're just going. It's really, really terrific to go in and like play a lot of these amazing games. And for me, a lot of that means like the really fucking awesome titles. But an example, I want to throw this one out there. You would give Resident Evil 2 remake a 9 out of 10.
Yeah.
And I would give that an 8 out of 10. Like, I think that game is just a great video game, like, through and through.
Yeah.
And so there is a level
So
of
wait,
like.
do we put a word on it? Do we do excellent?
For me, I think it's amazing.
Okay,
Amazing.
I would go excellent.
Okay, nice. Yeah, and then we're both solid with 7 being good and 8 being great.
Yeah, another 7 for me would be Untitled Goose Game. You reminded me.
Oh, yeah.
With,
The
What
short game
Remains.
stream.
Yeah. And then we have Masterpiece. Dude, if I see another comment on one of our videos when we say something's a 10 out of 10 and they're like, so you think it's perfect? It's like, no, nothing is perfect, guys. But there are games that I could argue are perfect.
For me, there's only 2 that come to mind when it comes to perfection. Legitimate, like, I don't know how it gets better through and through. Portal 2 and Tetris are perfect to me.
Yeah,
Tetris they're just perfect video games.
Do you have any? You don't have any 10 out of 10s for this year, right?
For this year, I have no 10 out of 10s except for Elden Ring that I played this year with Shadow of the Erdtree. If you want to combine that into one thing, I would give that total package a 10 out of 10.
Where this falls on my list of favorites is totally different than what I would score it. I think Balatro is a 10 out of 10.
Yeah,
that game's perfect in a lot of ways.
So would you say it's a 10 out of 10?
Yes.
Okay,
yeah.
nice.
I think it's maybe the best game that came out this year.
For me, it's really hard to go and like a lot of people are like, Nick enjoys a ton of fucking Xbox games, PlayStation games, and Nintendo games, but the only Xbox game that I have on my 10 out of 10 list is Forza Horizon 5. Mm-hmm. That is a perfect racing game. That is just through and through. It does not get better mechanically, art style, the way it feels. Like, I know that sounds like almost like difficult to describe. You feel like you are driving in Mexico. Like, every moment you're playing that game, and it is super immersive. I don't know how you can do a better Forza Horizon experience. I don't know how you can do a better racing experience. I think that game is a masterpiece. That's the only Xbox title though that I have. And then for another interesting one, the only Nintendo title I have on my list that's just a Nintendo published game is Mario 64.
For me, for 10 out of 10s for like older ones, I would go Mass Effect 2. I would go Donkey Kong Country 2. I would go Breath of the Wild. I think that I would go Hotline Miami. Those are a few of them.
Yeah. The last one that I want to shout out, because when I like talk about 10 out of 10s, I only have 8 10s, which I think for a lot of people would think that that's a little, for the way I talk about games, a little low, because I talk about greatest games of all time often. But for me, there's only really been 8 games that I've played that I'm like, oh, this is a masterpiece level game. One that I want to shout out is Rock Band. I think that game is just a masterpiece from a set list design, from a fun that you can have with that game, the way that the replayability allows you to consistently go for 5 stars, consistently allows you to go for perfect runs. There's almost a sense of like the way that Mario 64 still has a vibrant community of speedrunning and everything, and like wanting to go beyond that along with the core gameplay. I think that Rock Band is a similar example of core gameplay is just so fucking good, and the way that it goes beyond Guitar Hero, adding the drum set, adding the mic. For me, the big one being that drum set. The drum set is so fucking fun.
It's really good.
Like, even if you don't drum, the way that like I know that this game really is a masterpiece is everyone wants to play it, and when you see other people playing, they want to play it, and then they're like, oh, I can't pick up the drums, like I don't fucking know what I'm doing, and then they try it and they're like, oh, I really want to get good at this right away. Like, there's so few games that do that, and Rock Band is that prime example for me. Obviously, we talked about the set list in that game being ridiculous, but I do think that is also the example of covering so many different genres, so many different years of music. Like, it really categorizes and catalogs music very well from the 70s all the way up to the 2000s.
I think it's the perfect set list for any of those music type games.
Yeah.
So.
And so if you're like, but Guitar Hero 3 has a better set list, I'm like, but it doesn't have the drums.
Dude, I don't understand how people say like Rock Band 2 or 3 are better. That doesn't make any sense to me.
The only one that I've thought about also adding this, because it's just Rock Band 1 Plus, because you can download Rock Band 1 if you did, is Rock Band 4 with the additional music. Like, when you're talking about rhythm games, it does not get better than Rock Band. It just doesn't. And so for me, that's one of them. The Last of Us 1 and 2 for me are both 10 out of 10s.
I would do The Last of Us 2 personally.
And then I do have, I'm just going to list all my 10s, I guess. God of War 2018, Uncharted 4, and I already mentioned Portal 2, Elden Ring, Mario 64. And
I
that's
haven't I
that.
haven't thought that deeply about what exactly I would give a 10, so I just threw out a few of them. But I don't have like a distinctive
Yeah.
list.
I-
I mean,
I-
I have my best games list, but I think that maybe the top 10 I would give a 10 out of 10, maybe. Like even that
Yeah.
is a question.
Shadow of the Colossus, you giving a 10?
Yes.
Red,
You see, the thing
yeah,
is, like,
or is it a 9.5?
I personally would give it like a 9.95 just because I am stupid. You know what I mean? Like, I didn't know how to like do certain fights, and it's a puzzle. It really is a puzzle game at the
Yeah.
end of the day. And for me, I'm held back by my own wits when it comes to puzzle games. Like, I just can't figure out some of these fights, and then you have to look it up, and when you're looking it up, it automatically kind of like takes away from the experience. You can't really be that immersed if you're looking up a walkthrough. So personal experience, and then trying to be, which, let's get into it, objectivity versus subjectivity. It's really hard to just I think there is objective things about games. I know Serum has kind of been talking about this on his TikTok quite a bit lately, about how there's no objectivity when it comes to games. It's all somebody's subjective feelings. I understand where he's coming from, and he's not the only person who has that take. I think
also
it's
on movie talk a lot.
Right.
It's discussed on movie TikTok
I think
too.
it's very interesting, like that kind of trying to discern what is what. But personally, I think that like something like can be objectively visually impressive. You know what I mean? Like The Last of Us Part 2 is objectively a good looking game.
Yes.
Like it's really I can't understand like an argument that would go against that. But then like the shooting feeling good or something like that, that's a very subjective feeling and stuff like that. So I understand that when it comes to my personal reviewing process, I try to come to as many objective truths as possible and then put my own subjective taste and preference and spin on what I'm playing, and that's how I arrive at my score.
I'm very like I do believe in objective truths within video games, but the way that I talk about video games, I hope at this point the audience knows how I talk about video games and like understands what a review from me is going to look like and where I need to be critical and where I don't. I'm going to be reviewing a game during this podcast, and I think that that's a super fun and exciting experience, and it's going to be a very different review than what we normally do because it's the first ever sports game that we were reviewing on the channel, with NCAA football, and that's not what it's actually called. It's called College Football 25. I know it's dumb. Just call it NCAA football. I know you can't because of licensing. I'm still going to call it NCAA 25. Anyways,
For the review, you have to call it.
I will call it the correct name. I understand. But man, oh man, just they messed up. Anyways, but when it comes to my review process, I start out with the feel. For me, it is a gut feeling of like how much fun am I having? Obviously, fun for a minute's a huge stat that I like to bring up. And if the game's main objective is fun, like a party game, that is going to be a huge subjective thing. Like me, in my personal experience of having fun, I can explain why I had fun, and I think that like that is what the review discussion turns into. But me being like fun for a minute, it's off the charts, is like okay, like but I didn't have that fun. There's that subjective level to it. But when it comes to the objectivity of certain things, I think that, like you said, The Last of Us, visually very impressive. I think the open world of Red Dead 2, for example, is really impressive. Like the way that you're just able to go vast, yeah, in depth. And then like there are the impressive aspects of things like Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart, with the way that it is utilizing the system and bringing in crazy frames and like switching things through as you're going through these rifts.
Right.
And like that is like super impressive. One of the most next gen experiences that we have is what we say pretty often is Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart. So there is an objective level to it, in my opinion.
Two more things that I think that you could point to as like objective facts about a game: it running well, 60 frames,
totally.
like, and having like a steady frame rate, and then amount of content. I think that it might turn some people off if it's a certain amount, but if this game is like a $70 title, you could argue that you are getting your money's worth objectively, depending on how many hours you're getting out of the game.
Yeah, I think that's a big part of it. And then on the flip side of that, free-to-play games, it's like, all right, but it's free-to-play. So, like, what does that mean? When we're going to be discussing Concord in a moment, it's like, we do have to compare this because in the market, there are free-to-play games that then rely on microtransactions. $40, this one doesn't. Where does that all shake out and shape out is an interesting discussion to have. But for my review process, I think that, like, the prime example of the way that I like to review games is Principles of the Lost Crown, where we got a code for that. I'm up till 3, 4 a.m. playing this game. So like often I like to play games at night. Connor knows this very well. I do my best work from the hours of 11 p.m. to 3 a.m. Like that goes beyond just this reviewing games, but also we do a lot of our business work late night. Like that's when I have my best ideas and everything. I love brewing a cup of coffee at 10 p.m. and then playing games throughout the late hours of the night. Like tonight, I assume I'm going to play BioShock till 3 or 4 a.m. Like that's just, and I'm stoked for it. Like that's just when I'm wired and ready to go to review something. But also, I like to review games in the morning and like get that morning vibe, a cup of coffee going. And when I'm reviewing, I do take a lot of notes if I need to. Rise of the Ronin is a prime example of it. There's so many different things within that game that I wanted to go and be like, okay, I really enjoyed this aspect and I might forget that, so I want to add that to my review. Or I really disliked the way that this felt, so I want to go and make sure that that is something that I remember, write it down. Spider-Man 2. I'm pretty sure I took
so many notes for Spider-Man 2.
1,000 words of notes total. Like I took a fuck ton. Every 20 minutes I'm taking a note about something.
Yeah.
And that's a good way to play a game. But then there's games like I think shorter games are a great example. My discussion on Undertale, I didn't take a note about that game, but the way that it made me feel is what the main potent of the review would be. I felt like so amazed at the music. I felt so somber when I took somebody's life for the first time in that game, and then our chat is freaking out at me and making me feel bad. I felt heartbreak for when the robot dies. Like it just like spoiler there. Like there's just like moments of glee and sadness that you really can't pinpoint beyond this is what happened. I could take a note, hey, this happened and I felt this way. I don't need to take that note because that's how I feel, and I'm going to remember that feeling for a long time. And that emotional impact then factors into my review. So I think that the process too is like can vary depending on game length. It's a big part of it. Like if there's a 70-hour game, I'm going to go and take notes.
I think a big part of reviewing a game is discerning what the game is trying to do, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Like you can be like, oh, this game has great combat and everything, and then you play something like Gone Home that has no combat and be like, well, it's not fun. It's like, well, it's not trying to be fun. It's trying to tell a story. It's trying to be very interesting and immersive and make you feel something. And is it effective in that way? And that's what it's trying to do. Is it effective in its goals? And I would say yes for Gone Home. And then you have something like Death Stranding that is very effective in its walking and being a walking simulator. And I think it's very successful in that goal and everything. It feels very good on the sticks. So I try to discern that. I try to discern what the game is going for and what it's trying to do and how it's trying to make me feel. So there's that factor. And then also I try to go into the game and have an experience that I think most people will have, because I know a lot of people, hopefully, or if they want to, utilize our words as a means to help them make a purchasing decision. I want them to understand that like my experience with it, well, it might not be one for one similar to what you're going to do. It's going to be across the board similar to most people. So playing on normal, not using cheats. I think there's the one that jumps out to me most recently is with Crab Souls, with another Crab's Treasure, like using the gun in the game, like certain accessibility features, which I think is a really cool thing to have in the game if you want it. But that's not the average experience. The average experience is just going to be playing on the surface level what the game is showing to you, not going into the menus and turning on certain accessibility stuff. And pointing out that there is accessibility stuff, really cool. Talk about that. But my experience with Another Crab's Treasure is what I think the base experience is. You know what I mean? So I think being honest about that and being truthful and talking about that in a review and being like, well, I just did a normal playthrough. And then if I did do like 100% playthrough, talk about that. Like my experience with Final Fantasy VII Rebirth and my review on that eventually will be totally different because I platinumed it.
Yeah.
And that's not the average experience. But I think it's a valuable part of my experience and a unique part because I think I saw this game fully for what it is. So it adds a nice spin to my review. So
yeah, I also think that when you're talking about like what a game's trying to do, for me, a big reason that we throw myself on certain reviews like NCAA football is I know what an NCAA football game is trying to fucking do. Nobody that doesn't enjoy college football should be playing fucking
And
college
reviewing.
football 25 for a review. Like, you need to know and enjoy college tradition. You need to know and enjoy what a Madden game is versus a college football game is, and like have some level of clarity of what this game is doing differently to really understand it. My review, I can give you a little bit of a teaser. I'm reviewing a college football game because it's a college football game. I'm not reviewing this to be like, this is going to be a fucking 10 out of 10 in the way that The Last of Us is, but I'm also reviewing it as a video game. How much fun am I having? Are the mechanics good? What is happening with the music? We will get into what is happening in the music in this game.
I do think it's important to note, though, that you say that you shouldn't be reviewing a game if you're not like a fan of the genre. I do agree with that to some extent, but if you are going to review something, like if I'm going to review a fighting game, I do think my opinion is valuable as a novice to be like, hey, this is how I feel about it. I've never played Tekken. This is my first time playing Tekken. This is how I feel about it. But you need to like
disclose
say that very early on, and that needs to basically be the thesis of your review, is that I don't play these kind of games and this is how I felt about it, which I think is still a valuable opinion.
Totally.
Sure.
I completely agree with that. I do think that like when I'm saying this, I'm talking about like IGN, like a big box reviewer. You should probably go and make sure that the team sense makes sense, unless you want to disclose that.
Right.
Our team, prime example of it, we wanted to make sure that when we assembled that we had 3 different mindsets of gaming reviews and gaming experiences, and that to illuminate some idea of what a Connor review looks like, knowing the knowledge that he does about retro games, what my experience is, knowing a lot about shooters and party games and the obviously fun per minute, but
modern
also
stuff,
modern fucking games. If my favorite games, if I were to do a list of them, out of the top 50 of them, 30 of them probably would come out past the year 2007. Like, that is just I like modern games. That is what old game is old is a classic saying. Like, I like the new shit.
Whack.
I know. And then Brady being a larger novice than myself, even being able to be like, I just picked this up. Did I have fucking fun? Did this impact me? I don't have the previous knowledge that these guys do, but I still have a thought that is extremely important. And that's why I fucking love when we get all 3 of us together to do a review, and like the way that our scores differ and the way that we are able to bounce around. And the 3 reviews that we've done together this year being Helldivers, where we were all within 0.5 of each other. And then doing Rise of the Ronin, where we at the time were all within 0.5 of each other. I think that you and I are now a full point different.
Yeah.
I might be a 7.5. Like, it's really close. I fucking continuously think about how fun it was to clear out bases, and the combat is like really fucking rock solid in that game. Like, it's really impressive, but the story is just such a Connor phrase, a nothing burger. Like, I totally do. You couldn't even ask me. Like, I know that there's the different factions, but beyond that, geez Louise. And then Hellblade 2 is just such a definitive review of this, from this channel, because something you said earlier. What is the game trying to do? For me, Hellblade 2 is trying to be cinematic, visually impressive. Audio is intensely and immensely impressive. And I think that it clears the bar on so many of those things with not delivering a story that is too impressive. And that's why I knock it down to that 8.5 for me. But for you, you're like, this is trying to be a cinematic experience. The gameplay is not there in a way that it needs to be. The puzzles are too boring. And I'm like, okay, like, this is an awesome fucking discussion.
Right.
And then Brady lands in the middle. Like, that is really cool and insightful, but you understand what I'm saying. I understand what you're saying. We're able to come to some level of agreement. I think it's awesome having a team of 3 guys that are able to really, really put layers to reviews. And obviously, we say the most important thing is not just the number. The number is important, but it is hearing what we say after the fact.
Right. And I think Brady has such an interesting perspective on games, because we have a lot of fans who comment on our videos and say, like, I'm getting back into games because you guys helped me rediscover my love of games. And they probably were people who were playing Call of Duty and Fortnite and Madden and are now dipping their toes into single player stuff like Brady is, and playing catch up a little bit. And having a more novice perspective on that is helpful and is valuable, in my opinion. So I do think that threefolded point of view is very important for us. All right. Getting into the all-powerful 7 out of 10. This has been a debate that has raged for a long time. You have your guys like Angry Joe. You familiar with Angry Joe?
I am not.
He utilizes the whole scale. He'll give stuff 5s, 4s. He thinks like the average is a 5.
Yeah.
And then you have a guy like Serum as well, who falls into that boat as well. Shout out Serum. We're talking about him a lot today.
Yeah, Serum, you're awesome. Thanks for helping out with Extra Life, dude.
Yeah. So he utilizes the whole scale as well. In my opinion, most big games that are on people's radars are at a base level a 7 out of 10 at this point. I think for the most part, if you know about a game and we're covering it, it's probably going to fall around that good area.
Yeah.
That's not to say that I'm not willing to give something lower than that, but I think most games that people know about are pretty good nowadays. There's issues and stuff that I think that could have problems. The game that like comes to mind for me is like something like Assassin's Creed Valhalla, where I think it has solid gameplay, and I think that it has a fine story, and the world is interesting and big, but like it's just too bloated. 7 out of 10. It's not broken. It's not a 6, but people talk about that game pretty negatively. But it's still like, if I'm trying to be as objective as possible,
it's a good purchase.
I think it's a good game. It's a good game, a 7 out of 10 game. And if that's the base level, then you can kind of compare that to other games in that space and games that come out nowadays and kind of see like where a 7 would end up being something that is thrown around a lot.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
My big thing with the idea of a 7 and the reason we don't have consistently a ton of vibes is there are a ton of video games. There's way more video games than we will ever discuss. And if they're on our radar, you're right. It's most likely going to be a 7 out of 10. The other
as a baseline, not that it's going to definitely be.
Oh yeah, and it can well exceed that, and it can drop below that. Like I think that for me, Multiverses is one of the bigger full fighting releases this year, and that game's a 5 out of 10. My biggest thing is there's also, when it comes to our reviews, the things that you guys see, the things that we talk about a lot, we want to play. As a team, we will never ever force somebody to play a game. Like do you want to play this? Do you not want to play this? 2 big releases this year we did not cover at all. We're also a team of 3 people, so like if we don't have full range coverage, and like that's not like our goal. Those being Skull and Bones and Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League. We didn't give enough of a care to play those games, but if we did and we reviewed it in the full length that it deserves to be reviewed, sure, those could be, I'm not saying for definitely, maybe I fucking am a huge Skull and Bones fan, I don't know. I could see us giving those games 3 or 4 out of 10. So like maybe a 5. Right. Like but do you need that from us? No, I don't think so. And so for me, I obviously love remaining positive about things. I will fucking windmill dunk on a game if I need to. I will call a game shit if I think it's shit. I don't play a lot of shit games though, because like if we're on a team and we're like, all right, Suicide Squad's coming out. Like the other reason that that we're being straight up is Suicide Squad videos that were going across the TikTok, YouTube landscape, just like anything. Twitch was popping off with it. The numbers were insane. Yeah. People could not stop talking about this game. It was because it's DC. That's a huge property. Suicide Squad, huge property. The performances, well, like, were apparently pretty solid. Like Rocksteady coming back for the first time in a long time with a real full dive into this world. Like, what we could have made content and milked it and like just like forced ourselves to play it, but you want to know what we did instead? I played Grand Blue Fantasy Relink. Yeah, a game I was interested in.
I had no interest, like, and it's not even that I had no interest in Suicide Squad because of other people's reviews. I had no interest based off of everything before the game even came out. All the trailers looked horrible. All the gameplay that I saw looked like it was not fun.
Play, dude. That state of play that closed with, like, obviously it's just marketing and like they sign a deal and they gotta do what they gotta do. But it closed with Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League right before they end up pushing it another year. And we're watching that just being like, are you fucking kidding me?
Fun.
This doesn't. I don't want to play this. Like, I don't want to. And so what do? Not play it. And if you're like, well, you guys need to review everything, like we look to you to like make purchasing decisions and stuff like that. It's like, hit us up in an Instagram live or something and be like, hey, like, or sorry, a TikTok live and be like, why didn't you review this? Because we probably didn't fucking want to review it. We're not going to review a bad game. There needs to be interest to some level on that game.
Yeah, if I am interested in a game and then it ends up being bad, then I'm going to tell you about it. Like, there's plenty of stuff that, like, I'm excited for that ends up being bad. But if I were to get a review code for it, then like I'm gonna be the one who finds out that it's bad and tell you about it.
Oh,
You
yeah.
know what I mean? Like, but for the most part, like I had no interest in Suicide Squad before it. What was the other one? Skull and Bones. Yeah, I had no interest
Yeah.
in that game whatsoever. I don't really like Ubisoft games in general, so it's just like, all right, like I had no interest in playing that in the first place. It was in development hell for a very long time, so we knew it was probably going to be bad anyways. So yeah, I had no interest in playing that.
Yeah, I think that a 7 out of 10 though, good. A majority of games are good. I would say that is like the bell curve, especially of the games that we review and discuss. I think that for me, it's Super Rush. By the way, the Mario Golf Super Rush was the title. I knew it was super something.
You could have given me 1,000
Thousand
guesses on
guesses.
that. I would not have.
Yeah,
done
right. But I think that that's a good game, and I really enjoyed playing it. But like, it's good, and we can just move on from it. But a 7 out of 10, I loved back in the day when the Easy Allies would do, hey, what's your favorite 7 out of 10 this year? What's a really good game that you really just enjoyed? It's not great, but like, what's good? And then you discuss that aspect of it. Like this year, I'm pretty sure I don't have a 7 out of 10 thus far this year.
Rise of the Ronin.
Because for you, it's Ronin. For me, it's like a 7.5-ish, 8. I'm gonna just call it a 7.5. Like, let's be real. I think that game, it's really close.
It is. That's another factor when it comes to scores. Is like my opinions change on stuff like over time. Like it's really hard to oftentimes like to finish a game the day before and then like give a snapshot opinion on it. Like it's fresh.
Yeah.
And the hype for something as amazing as like Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, I think can die down. It hasn't for me personally, but I think that if you're just in that moment and the ending is kind of like sweeping you up and you finish it and you're like, for example,
Spider-Man 2,
BioShock Infinite for me, where when I first played that game, I thought the ending was so good. And we'll see how I feel about it now that I'm playing it again in 2024. But I was like, this ending is amazing. This is a 10 out of 10, a masterpiece, better than The Last of Us. Like, I legitimately thought that. And then on reflection, I was like, the rest of the game. I was like, I got to think more about this, like, holistically. But it can change. It's really hard to, like, necessarily make that snapshot of opinion and throw it out on the internet right away. So let's get into the final couple points here. We have the problem with review scores in general, and why you shouldn't listen to us, even if like in general, if you're excited about a game, you should still go out and find your have your own opinion and make your own take, if that makes sense. So let's talk about the review scores first and the problem with them, because I think that boiling a game down to a number can oftentimes be disingenuous, and I just really want to harp on the point that please listen to our words. And if it's something that you think it wouldn't make you upset or put you off on a game that might put us off on a game, and we're saying that in the review and that's bumping the score down a little bit, like take that to heart and like know your own preferences and know that our preferences are what they are. And the more you listen to us, the more you'll understand where we're coming from and what we like and what we don't like, and getting that holistic view and not just boiling it down to a score at the end of the day is really important. And that goes for everybody. For everybody reviewing games, you need to listen to the words, read the review, watch the review, understand the whole picture, and then also take your own feelings into account and go out and make your purchasing decision off of that.
Yeah, I think the prime example is like Hi-Fi Rush is a game that we have a 1.5 point difference on. You think it is just great. I think that it is amazing, like very, very amazing. But the way that we talk about that game, and the way that I talk about it specifically, the amount of people that are like, I've heard Nick talk about that and it sounds right to me. Rock and roll. There's so many people that don't know my review score on it, but have purchased that game off of my recommendation just because of the way that I discuss it. And then I think that there's going to be people that go and vibe with you in Starfield and are like, I had a great time with Starfield, and it being like, oh, he actually really enjoyed this. Maybe I'll hop on Game Pass and give it a shot. And there's people that really fucking love Starfield, and there's people that really don't vibe with it. What we're saying is so important beyond the number. The number is honestly just a way to, like Connor said, I think that our 0.5 scale really is for internally us to rank shit. Right. Like it really helps at the end of the year. It's a means to
an end for a lot of people. Like we are in this system and you have to just live in it. Review scores are the end all be all for a lot of websites and the internet in general. And it's important to just have a review score up for a lot of these things for people to point to be like, oh, they gave it the score and go off of that. But at the end of the day, it's the words
Yeah.
that really matter.
And the words for us, for me, normally involve a lot of hype and a lot of excitement. But when it comes to me being more critical on a game, you can understand and be like, okay, I'm somebody that like another great review. I'm not like to my own horn, but it was like a great game review. Grand Blue Fantasy Relink. The way that I discussed that game and talked about the music and the action combat, but like the art style and the music are really, really like stars of the show. And like that, if you like games like that with great music and great art and like the way that you feel like a sky pirate and everything, and you're like, I fucking vibe with that. I could see somebody playing that and being like, this is the best game ever. 9.5 out of 10. I'm like, good for you. For me, I find it to be great. But like,
Right.
if those things really shine for you and like are really important to you, that can build the gap of like why we don't fully see eye to eye, but we're both talking about it in a similar way. On the flip side, I think that like the reason I give Rebirth a near masterpiece score, I give it a 9.5 out of 10, is because for me, like music is like super, super fucking important to a game, and that has the best soundtrack in gaming. I think that action turn-based combat and the way that it builds on itself from the original is like fucking unbelievable in that game. It is so close to being a masterpiece to me. There are just certain moments that it's slow and it really takes your wind out of your sails. And like, if it, I'm not even saying it should trim the fat. I think these are necessary sections because there are fun moments in it. But like when synthesizing this review to just 9.5, I'm like, this game is better than Final Fantasy 16. I have them both as 9.5s. Like this is
Right.
near masterpiece to me. So when people are asking like what's the better Final Fantasy or something, I'm like, I can give 2 Final Fantasies the same score, but I can let you know which one's better. And that also takes away from like, there are different 9.5s. There's different 8.5s. I've given I think 4 games an 8.5 this year, and Hellblade 2 is the lowest of them, and I like fully know that in my heart of hearts. But I do think that it's better than an 8 in a lot of regards, and it helps us sort of just get things in order. I really do enjoy our review score, but I don't think that it's the end all be all to our reviews.
Yeah.
We normally lead off our reviews with that, and I see the fucking numbers. I see when the video drop off happens. We understand that most people don't get to the end of the review, but there's so many people that do get to the end of the review. And for those people, that's like why it's so important to like really talk through our feelings, because that's how you understand us as reviewers better.
Right. And then that final point on why you basically shouldn't listen to us and have us be the end all be all. I think we do a podcast, we're yapping. We obviously enjoy talking about games, but at the end of the day, what really matters is your fun, your enjoyment, your opinion. If you're excited for a game and we give it a bad score and you still want to buy it, please do not let us dissuade you completely from having your fun. There's stuff that we like that you or dislike that you might like, and factoring all of that into a review and how you interpret our words is so important. So please, if you take anything from this conversation, please just find your own fun. You know what I mean? Like, don't let us dissuade you completely from enjoying something.
Yeah.
So
I think that that's super important. And then on the other side, if we super talk up a game and like we really enjoy it and you don't enjoy it, like that's okay. Like we can have different opinions, and I'm sorry that you didn't find as much fun of it in it as we did.
Yeah.
But like, that's life. That's art. Like you're not gonna always be 10 out of 10. But for me, a big thing is trying to find reviewers that you line up with, and then you vibe with what they vibe with. Like that is so important to me. And when I look at our team, I think that like there's a reason we put certain people on certain reviews. There's a reason that we both review a lot of major titles, because we both have large interest, and it's interesting to see those opinions clash. But like talking through things like college football today, prime example of it. Like I had a experience with it. There are people on the internet calling this the best game of the year, and I'm like, fuck yeah, I'm so happy for you guys, like that you're finding 10 out of 10 love from it, or 9.5 out of 10 love from it for what a college football game is and everything. Like that's fucking awesome. Good for you. I didn't have that, but I can understand it to some regard, and I'm really happy that you enjoyed it. We don't fucking matter that much. We don't. Honestly, if you're like, Nick gave this a 10 out of 10, Who the fuck? I'm not that important. Connor's not that important. Like if someone's like, Nick, you have 8, 10 or 8, 10 out of 10s. I believe that's how many I have. That's too many. I'm like, well, it's fucking me. I'm not gonna not say that. Oh, or you have 8, 10 out of 10s. That's not enough. With the way you talk about games, it's like, well, I can find these flaws, and I'm not saying perfect versus masterpiece. For me, these are masterpiece scores. It's okay. We can disagree, and honestly, we're not that big of a deal. We understand we're not that big of a deal. Every single morning, I wake up and I call Connor. I'm like, well, we fucking don't matter at all, baby. No, like we really aren't.
We think it's really cool that people care about our opinions and think it's really awesome.
There's nothing cooler than somebody saying, "Hey, I played Hi-Fi Rush. Hey, I played Cocoon. Hey, I played Alan Wake 2, Final Fantasy 16."
I had a friend from college text me and be like, "You put me onto Balatro because I listen to your podcast." So I was like,
"Yeah,
hell yeah, dude." The final point on this that I really want to make is that the most important thing to me outside of you just finding your own joy in this is that you know that we're giving our honest opinion and that you trust us to do that. I don't want to do anything to affect that relationship with our fans ever. So just know that I am always trying my best to just give you my honest take.
Yeah.
And I think that that's really important for us as reviewers to always try to find that that relationship with developers and publishers and getting review codes and still, if you're going to send us a review code, just know that like we're criticizing.
We're going to be critical.
I don't care that I am willing to put relationships on the line to be honest.
Yeah.
Always. I'd rather not get review codes and review it when it comes out with everybody else and give it an honest review than just continuously give something a positive review just to keep a relationship solid with people. I don't think that's happening in the review industry, but I think that a lot of people can see somebody give a positive score and be like, well, they're just reviewing it because they got sent a code.
Totally.
And reviewing it positively, but that's never going to be the case for us. I just always want to give my honest opinion, and I never want to be compromised because of my relationship with developers or anybody.
I also think that it's important to say if we fall off a game, we'll probably let you know we fall off the game. Like if we had a code for something and we're just like, oh, it just fucking isn't working. This hasn't happened yet. We normally don't. If we're like, we had sent some codes that we're just like, oh, we're just not even gonna pick up or whatever. Like that's not important to us right now. We have other things that we need to play or want to play. But if we do get sent a code for something and if we end up not really vibing with it, we'll let you know on this podcast. We'll be like, hey, when embargoes go up and everything, hey, well, we give this a shot. We don't want to give it a full review score, but we fell off it. Here's our thoughts on it. We would use the word impressions for something like that. It wouldn't be a full in-depth review. And then you just have to take that for what that is. But we always try to go and be very true to ourselves. Like I've had moments reviewing games where I'm just like, I think the biggest moment for me was like Hellblade 2. I fucking really enjoyed, and I know Connor's on the other end of the spectrum, but I don't give a shit. I'm going to give it my score. Right. This is what I would give it. And Connor on the other side, you didn't vibe with it, and he's going to give you his fucking score, and he's going to let you know why. And that discussion, I think, is one of the best. Like we're going to close out this year and do Game Awards and start off Co-op 64 Day. It's going to be fucking awesome. And we're going to have to talk about some of the moments of the year prior. I think that our Hellblade discussion is like really fucking awesome because of that disagreement. And it really shows like we're going to be 100% honest. I've gotten roasted for giving that game an 8.5 by Connor and many people on the internet. Connor has gotten roasted by myself and many people on the internet for giving it a 5. Like, but that's okay because that's our fucking opinions.
I love disagreeing with people on the internet. I think it is, if it's about something as trivial as video games, I think it is like some of the most human interactions that you can possibly have, and being like, let me hear your opinion. Let me hear my opinion. I disagree with you, but I understand where you're coming from. And I think that's really interesting that you would feel that way. And then you go on with your fucking day, as long as it doesn't become personal. Just, I love hearing people's opinions on stuff. And I think it's so fun. When it comes to movies, games, music, anything. I think it's some of my favorite interactions with people, period. So yeah, that's our discussion on reviews. And if you have any questions or any follow-up, be sure to comment and let us know what you think about our review scales and how you interpret our process and what you think is a 7 out of 10. Because I think those discussions will continue to be very popular on the internet. So we wanted to put our own spin on it and give our official Co-op 64 take.
It's a fun time.
We are going to get into the college football 25 review and find out if Nick gives that a 7 out of 10. If I had to guess, I'm going to guess right now, he's going to give it I have no idea. He's going to give an 8 out of 10. That's my guess. All right. Do you want me to intro this? I intro this?
Ourselves? Sure.
What?
Oh, wait. Oh, we're
College
doing.
football.
Oh, we still have college football to discuss and more
Concord.
Concord.
Yeah.
We gotta fucking for some reason I was like, oh, dude, we're gonna end the pod short today. I totally went blank. Yes, you will be enjoying it.
All right. Ready to
Let me pull up the actual name of this game.
It's College Football 25.
I'm pretty sure it's EA's College Football 25.
How did this come so far off the wall?
You know, we're just moving, we're shaking, we're vibing. It's EA Sports College Football 25.
That's
that is
ridiculous
That is the title
name.
of this game. All right, I'm ready.
Nick, you have been playing EA Sports College Football 25. What is your review? What do you think?
My review is we are so back to having fun playing college football on the PS5, having a great time. I think that this is a great video game. I would give it an 8 out of 10 on the co-op 64 scale. College football is about tradition. It's about the fans. It's about tailgating. It's about being in a stadium of 80,000 people on a Saturday at noon, getting smoked by a big school and still having fun and having a smile on your face. And EA College Football does a great job at giving you some insight to some of that tradition and insight to those stadiums. For me, I am a Auburn graduate. I went to Auburn for 4 years. I got to go to an Iron Bowl where Auburn won at Jordan-Hare Stadium. I love college football. College football, I painted up for a game, meaning I painted my stomach for a college football game. I really do enjoy college football and the tradition that it provides. And nothing made me smile more than booting up the game, going and selecting my school, and then seeing the home screen go and pop up with a bunch of Auburn colors and having a game stub ticket from the Iron Bowl where we had the kick six happen. I boot up my first game. Of course, I'm going to run the Iron Bowl for my first game and see the War Eagle fly for just a moment. If they're not going fully all in on tradition, but they're just giving you enough of a taste to be like, yeah, we're here. We're having fun today. And then I got my shit rocked by Alabama, and it was so much fun because I'm like, we're back to playing college football, baby. The exhibition matches that you can play and just hop into, that's what I like when I'm playing a sports game. I just want to go and have 45 minutes with a buddy, laughing, playing some college sports together, or if it's Madden or if it's 2K, that's what I like to do. I like to be on the couch or playing online. And when I was on the couch with Brady, I was having a great time playing college football. But there's also those extra game modes, which I'm going to hop into now. There is your classic dynasty mode, Connor, where you get to go and try to take a team to the top, go and turn around a franchise, recruit players, and it is pretty in depth. It has some great mechanics of recruiting players. I do think that it's funny that like there's people online being like, I want to recruit players and give them $50 million now, because like why not? Like there is that mechanic that you sort of wish was in the game, but it is a good dynasty experience. I can imagine being at a sleepover with my friends when I was 13, 14 years old and having a blast with this, saying, hey, let's stay up all night, going and turning around UMass from a shit program and making them a dynasty. I think that it works really well. For those that want a mode like this, it is a very good, serviceable mode. Then you have your Road to Glory, I believe it's called, where you are creating a player and you're trying to go and make them a pro. You're trying to make them a star. I played, I think, 4 or 5 hours of this. I was having a blast playing as my quarterback for the UC Bearcats, slinging it, throwing interceptions, throwing deep tutters, having a great time. My guy got so good at scrambling out of the pocket. There was not a play where I was not like read option. I'm taking the ball every time. I'm busting to run outside, and I am making people miss, Connor. And I'm having so much fun doing so. I think it's a great game mode. Once again, those modes are there for you if you want to go and spend a lot more time in this game and have a bunch of fun. But when you're talking about the core game mechanics, which I believe is that exhibition mode, it is me versus you on a Friday night, having a laugh, having a drink, and getting some pizza, and just playing some college football against each other. I think it is very, very well made. I think it's a great time to go and have those traditions. The best thing for me was, of course, we ran the Iron Bowl, but of course we ran the game, OSU versus Michigan. And like I said, give me a taste of that tradition, seeing the Ohio State band letters spell out Ohio, getting to experience that in college football after experiencing it at OSU. is delightful. It's a ton of fun. I think through and through, this game has great modes. I think that the gameplay is tight. It's what you know from a sports game, like with the Madden mechanics and NCAA mechanics. You're running the read option a little bit more. You're busting out the Wildcat a little bit more than you would in a Madden because it's college football, but it still runs very well. Some of the flaws. My biggest flaw in this game is the music. The amount of drumming that is played in this game is disgusting. The fact, like, I no joke think that it is a major issue. When you're playing Dynasty, you're on those menu screens for hours, dude. You're on them for like 90% of it, and the entire time it's a marching band drum line that just is relentless, and you have to deal with it. My main thing is right now there is so much opportunity to get a banging soundtrack together for a college football game. Where's swag surfing? Where is it? You see at moments there's like characters doing the swag surf where you wrap your arms around each other and then you sway together as these beats are dropping. Where the freak is it, EA? I need that in my life. Where is like, and then another thing is EA games are known for every now and then pulling out great soundtracks, and like FIFA's had some great soundtracks, Madden's have had some great soundtracks, and it almost like puts you in a time and place where you have the modern hits, but also you have some classics that are being brought up. You have hip hop, you have pop music, you got rock music. There's none of that. It is just the drum line, Connor. It is so relentless, and I do think it's a major issue for Dynasty mode in particular. But through and through, this is a great time. I'm having a great time playing this game. I want to play more of it. I'm so excited to hop off of this podcast and play some with my buddy Braden and run a few games online. I think that the modes are very well done. I think that if you're somebody that loves college football, you're going to love this game. You're going to be all about it. And if you like college football or just like football in general, you can have a great time hopping in with a buddy, playing a few games, having a beer, and having a great time. That is my review of EA Sports College Football 25.
Right on, right on. I have nothing to say to this.
Yeah.
Like, I legitimately have no take on college football, and then I don't really like it. It's not my bag. I respect it. I get that people like it, but it's not my cup of tea at all.
For me, I'm more of a pro fan, but I actually cared more about this game than Madden because I think that college has that extra panache of tradition and everything. Like, I think that that's super important, and they did a good job with that. They could have gone further. They could have made it a little bit better, I guess. Like, I part of me wanted like to hear that Eagle flies in Auburn, and I want to hear the whoa, like, or UCs. I want to hear the UC. Like, I want to hear like some of those sights and sounds that you really get to really immerse you, because I think that is so important in college football. Like, that's what makes college football so special. And there was a taste of it, there was a flavor of it, but it wasn't fully there in the way that I thought that they really could come out and nail it. I like there are a few changes in this game that legitimately could make this like a 8.5 out of 10, 9 out of 10. Like this, if you just, my main thing is, I played at a certain point Dynasty mode on mute. That's crazy. I'm a fucking drummer. I love drum lines. Drum lines are sick. You cannot make me listen to a drum line for 3 hours straight, dude. That is near torture.
That's pretty funny.
Like, it's, I don't, like, I keep on seeing people discuss this and being like, I like the drum line, and then like, I fucking hate the drum line all of a sudden, because at a certain point it's just too much, especially Dynasty mode. You're on those menus the entire time. There are like college band music playing. Put that on the fucking game. Put any, dude, like, where's I need to know now? Like, where's that? Where's the licensed music that we know and love from previous FIFAs and Maddens and better? Like, I don't get it. It is perplexing to me. You just needed to get a set list. There's Mo Bamba in the game. Fucking throw Mo Bamba in Dynasty mode. There's Sandstorm in the game, because obviously that vibes with the college vibe, and that's part of tradition. Where is that in the menu? Put those, like, you have 2 great songs right there. And I know those are very different songs, and there might not be great songs, but they fit the vibe really well. Hit up Kendrick Lamar and get Family Ties in this thing. Like, there's certain things that just should be there that aren't, and you notice it right away. And like, at a certain point I was like, that's intolerable. That's just not worth it. So yeah, I had a great time with this. I'm going to play a lot more of it. We're going to play some of it on Extra Life during the late night crew. Me and Braden are going to kick it and play some college football and chug beers and eat tailgate food and like have fun doing so. I think that it's great for that. I think that it really nails what a college football game is trying to do.
Is Family Ties by Kendrick, is that the Drake song?
That's I don't even know what that is. That's the song with Baby Keem and
Okay.
Kendrick.
Well, It's Not Like Us is one of the
Not
ones.
Like Us.
And then there's another one. Family Matters?
Maybe. I don't know. But Family Ties is, for me, I know that this is just a personal thing, but if you went to college in the past 3 years, Family Ties, every single party. Family Ties, every single tailgate.
It's funny because I just couldn't remember the name of the song, but I do not like that song.
I know you're not a huge fan of it.
Yeah.
It is a college staple. Like, beat them up. Like, are you kidding? Could you imagine opening college football 25 and hearing beat them up over and over again? But my main thing, my main thing is, why do we not have swag surfing in this game? You show it. You know that it's a thing. And it hits tradition so well. It hits so many college stadiums so well. It is such a camaraderie thing. The next one better have it. No joke. I legitimately.
We're gonna get one of these every year.
I think so. Yeah. And I honestly, I think that they could do every other year and have it always be like a fucking banger compared to just getting it annualized and not as much. Right. But there's too much money on the table for them not to do it.
I wonder how many millions of copies this sold already.
I saw 2.2 million a couple days ago. It sold a ton.
I thought it'd be more.
My main thing is we had those like 3 days of pre-release, and it sold like, I'm pretty sure it might have sold 2.2 in the pre-release window, which is insane. I don't know about that for a fact. You can fact check me on it. I'm not. Don't stick me to that one. There's multiple headlines that have been crossing about this throughout the weekend. Great time with it. 8 out of 10.
Right on.
Great game.
Any final thoughts? Are you ready to move on to Concord?
I'm almost more inclined to give this a nod over Hellblade 2 in my end of the year list, if we get there.
Yeah, because end of the year list is our favorite games, not the best.
Really?
That's how I've always handled it.
I normally do. I normally do best.
Like, well, here's the thing. Like, I'm not gonna put Balatro over Final Fantasy VII Rebirth.
Okay.
Even though I think I would score Balatro higher.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
I think that for me, I try to give the nod to the higher score thing, if I can.
I mean, like it depends.
The only difference for me is Tekken 8 being a 9 out of 10, amazing game for me, and Erdtree being a 9.5. That being a DLC for me does scoot it down one position.
Interesting.
But that's it.
Yeah, I mean, like last year, I think I was Alan Wake, which is 9.5, and then Final Fantasy 7 or Final Fantasy 16, which is also is a 9.
Yeah.
So like I was in order.
Yeah.
Like basically.
Where did you have Tears of the Kingdom? What would you give Tears?
An 8 or an 8.5, maybe.
Tears of the Kingdom 8.5.
I just didn't feel much for it. Wow. I don't know.
I mean, that's fine. Once again,
it felt like the same thing over and over again.
The best part is now that we have like a definitive like discussion on reviews, it feels a little bit better to talk about reviews and everything.
I think it's a great.
Yeah,
it's a more than a great game. 8.5. I don't think it's like.
You don't think it's amazing?
Exceptional.
Yeah.
I think that Breath of the Wild is exceptional. Like, I know that's weird because I know that Tears of the Kingdom is probably like the better game for like a lot of people, but I do think a lot of the feeling or the enjoyment of Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom is feeling that openness and that how special that felt the first time you played it. And Breath of the Wild felt like something completely new, and then Tears of the Kingdom felt like more of Breath of the Wild in a lot of ways.
Concord.
So, let's talk about Concord.
Let's do it, dude. Oh my gosh. So I played about 6 hours more this weekend.
I did not play that much. I played like 5 matches last night of the new modes.
Yeah, I played the new modes during Thursday night, I believe. They launched a little bit early and everything, and I saw SBM on and a few others, and I was like, I'll hop in and give it a shot again. And then I played like. Last night was funny where I was like, I got NCAA'd out a little bit. I played a lot of NCAA yesterday. And so I was like, I just need to play something else. And I was about to go to bed. And then Connor was like, hop on Concord. I'm like, nah. And then I was like on my phone for like 30 minutes. I'm like, I kind of want to play more Concord. And so I hopped into it.
We could have played together.
Yeah, I
was still awake.
I didn't want to talk. Do you get that?
Yeah, no,
like where I was listening to a podcast during some of it too. Like
I can oftentimes ask somebody to get on Valorant and play with me, and I'm like, I don't really want to like yap the entire time. You know what I mean? But Concord weekend 2, the first weekend they had TDM and kill confirmed, and then they had a 5v5 one life no respawn mode as well. And then as we had discussed last week, they added in a hardpoint mode and they added in a domination mode into the game.
They added domination at the start of weekend 2, and then hardpoint came in yesterday on Saturday, which I think is a interesting thing because I think that they're just like, this game is in a very interesting position.
Yeah.
I think Concord's awesome. I think that those modes added so much to it.
I am infuriated by this situation. What the fuck were they thinking? What were they thinking? You have one chance to make a good first impression. Most people played this last weekend and said it's good and then did not play this weekend. I promise you. Like unless you're like covering it or like have like a distinct interest in it or really loved last weekend, which I know a lot of people liked last weekend. I know a lot of people didn't love it. And some people are flipping on it and being like, it's fine actually. Like I liked it for the first 2 hours, but now I don't like it. This game is objective-based modes. It needs those objective-based modes to be fun. I had 10 times more fun last night playing domination and hardpoint. There was actually team-based moments. There was team compositions that felt like were actually impactful. Some people were hopping on tank and actually pushing a point and everything. People were utilizing the walls for certain characters to hold off a certain point, a certain choke point. It's like, this is the game. This is the game that I thought it was going to be. And then I played last week and I was like, it's not the game that I thought it was going to be. But maybe this will change things. And yep, it in fact did. But now it's too late. The script is written on Concord already from last weekend. And this weekend, it does not matter nearly as much as I hoped it would in the overall discussion, because I don't hear anybody talking about Concord now. But playing this last night, I was like, oh, this is fucking great. Why was this not here last weekend? And how am I an idiot who just talks about video games for fun? How could I know this and they don't know it? You know what I mean? The developers of Concord, how did they not know that this is the game? This is the game right here. And you shot yourself completely in the foot. It makes me so mad. I want every game to succeed. I want every game to be good. I'm always rooting for games to be good. Why would you not? You know what I mean? Why? What were they thinking? Why?
I do think that is very, very interesting. I agree that the business decision should have said, we're not going to do 2 weekends of beta. We were going to do 1 weekend, and it's this weekend. And
or just have all the modes for both weekends.
Yeah, or push the beta in a way that, because I assume that they weren't like ready or something or for it.
No way. We're a month out. This game's basically gold. Nick.
I know. I don't get it. It doesn't make sense to me. But now that the discussion of it is what it is, I do think that the last like major impression point will be reviews and everything when it comes out. I don't know how they're doing it. We haven't talked to PlayStation about this or anything. When Helldivers happened, we got codes day one because the servers flipped on and everything, and then like it was good to go for everyone. And our review came out about 2 weeks after. I would assume that it's going to be a similar deal where like we won't get codes and we'll have to play day one and we'll just work through it. Or if we do get codes, it's still day one codes. It's not early review codes. This game needs early review codes. It does. The discussion going into day one needs to be, this game has an 87 on Metacritic, an 85 on Metacritic, an 83 on Metacritic. This game needs to have that buzz going into it, because as of right now, after weekend 1, it was very, like you said, it was a great time. It was a good time. Because I said 7.5-ish around
and
last
I said
week.
6.
Yeah, like this game fucking rules. I think
I'm not
it rules.
there yet.
I think this game rules.
I'm like more. I'm up a point probably to a 7.5 or so.
I think that I would probably give this game an 8 or an 8.5. I don't.
That's too high.
For me, like I said, with Helldivers,
there's too many other game modes that aren't the game modes that we're talking about. You know what I mean? Those have to factor in.
I went and hopped back into TDM and everything, and it's way better now because the lobbies, as more people are playing, you're getting 5-on-5s. Like a big issue that you and I had last week, it was the fact that we would get into lobbies and then people would just leave right away and you're in a 3v5 and then the game's not fucking fun. The 5v5 moments that I had where it is 27-27 and you 3 kills and you're just trying to make it happen, you're trying your best not to die, you're trying to win. That feeling in video games is so important for multiplayer moments, and there are those multiplayer moments in there on the TDM mode when you have 5v5 going and lobbies are working well together. And I think a big part of it was I almost felt when I was playing TDM, or not TDM, Domination and Hardpoint, it reorganized my brain in a way where I was like, oh, I can't leave a match because I got to stick it out with the homies. Like, we got to make sure that we are kicking some ass and everything. I probably, weekend 1, I would give it a 7 out of 10. Weekend 2, I would give it an 8 out of 10. This is a great game. This is a great time. I was having great fun.
I think there's too many factors outside of the modes that I think are really great to bump it up that high, but I think that this is a way better impression than I had last weekend. Like, I just keep coming back to the fact that I am so frustrated on, like, what were they thinking? Like, the hero shooters need team-based aspects to it.
Yeah.
TDM and Kill Confirmed are not team-based. In the other game mode, while you might think that people would play it more like a team, they were just running at each other and just trying to kill each other.
I learned, though, if you win, apparently you have to switch characters and stuff like that. I find that to be interesting. I didn't even know that.
Yeah, I did know that.
And so there's some nuance to that game mode that I didn't think there was before. Still, I hopped into one game of it, and I'm like, I don't fucking care.
This is not fun. I think that they need to completely take that mode out and rework it. I think that if they add in certain other team-based modes, like push the payload and capture the flag,
I believe push
totally
the payload
different.
is confirmed, right? We ran through the modes.
I think so, yeah, but I'm confused on the
yeah,
game modes in
there's
general.
some things that are not clear. My main thing is do more team-based modes. This game, Concord, please add a capture the flag mode. I will play tens of hours of just capture the flag with these characters.
Tens of hours?
Tens of hours. Meaning, like, I'll play just capture the flag for 30 hours with that game mode. I would. Like, that is how fucking good the mechanics feel. And I'm like, capture the flag just makes sense for this game in the same way that it really works well for Halo. Like, that like, the way that the shooting works and the team comp builds works, if capture the flag makes sense. This has that with capture the flag. I think that Domination felt fucking intense.
Did you play
and
any
awesome.
Hardpoint?
Oh, I played a lot of Hardpoint last night. Yeah.
Okay.
So with that,
Hardpoint
like
is
I
even
said,
better, in my opinion.
Hardpoint.
Everybody just converging on one point and just fucking fighting each other. I like had one moment where I cleared out 3 people to take the point and like starting the comeback, and we ended up winning. It's like, okay, that's the moments that I'm looking for in this. I'm not looking for a double kill. I'm sorry. Like, I'm looking for the kills, but then also like the team-based aspect of it, of working together. I don't know, man. It's just so frustrating.
There was a moment where I was playing as the like Lynx, who's the revolver person, but it didn't matter. There was a sick ass moment that I just saw. I wasn't even part of it. We're on the hard point. Somebody's got their shield up, and then the big guy that like can rush and run and then drop it like for a power move. He ran like he was low health. He ran behind the guy with the shield, and then last second swerved out and dropped on somebody to get the kill for us to maintain the hard point. And I was like, yeah, like that's what I'm talking about, baby. That's what you can fucking do with this game.
Yeah,
do it.
You need moments, and TDM and Kill Confirmed don't allow for moments. This allows for moments. The final point that I would say is that last night I did feel like there is some major balancing issues. They need to buff like half the characters.
Yeah,
like where like they did like you are just soaking up damage. It shouldn't take 3 clips of like body shots to kill somebody in this game.
There's definitely some issues with that. Especially, I think the biggest issue is health. Just go and like lower certain people's health bars and higher them.
There's just balancing across the board,
Really?
which I do think that could easily happen before.
Yeah, which once again, we're talking about a beta. We're not talking about the full game.
Thing is, oftentimes betas don't have it. Like if it's a month before, you're not changing that much.
Yeah,
balancing issues, you can change.
You can change. And my main thing is, I went from weekend 1 being like, well, we said we hope weekend 2 is better. It is better. It is way better. And so now it's like, okay, rock and roll, dude. I'm stoked for August 23rd. I am. I'm ready. I'm so ready to like hop in. My main thing is like, dude. We don't have like a full fun stream, but that Monday night we're playing on release night on stream where we're all going to be playing from our individual setups. I'm so excited for that stream now. Like I went from like that's going to be one that like certain people aren't going to vibe with. Not a lot of people are going to talk about Concord in this like major release way. I went from like it's going to be like okay, like to let's lock and load, dude. Let's get into it. Let's have some fun. Let's have some moments. Let's make some call outs. Let's do the damn thing of okay, you hold down the hard point because you're a fucking tank character. I'm gonna go and just try to like shooter mats are coming in and everything. Like, there's going to be fun like that. And we had a great moment, and it really stuck with me. The previous weekend, we're like, Nick, don't even try to make this like into a team-based thing, because it really doesn't feel like it. We're all just running and gunning and talking about shit. I'm like, I kind of agree with that. Like, it doesn't make sense to do that for a TDM mode where the characters don't really matter and it just doesn't feel right. That felt right. It felt good. It felt impactful to play these multiplayer modes that had team-based objectives, and I'd be stoked to do it. And then also watching Snowbike Mike, Andy Cortez, weekend 1 versus weekend 2. Holy shit, the amount of fun I had watching the game, completely different. Right. Where like I'm having way more fun. I'm way more excited to see these close matches come down to the wire and see somebody either come out victorious or get a crushing defeat. Like, that feels good to watch.
Do you think they just don't know that that's what people are looking for? They can't be stupid.
I know.
They must know.
I know. I think that this dev team, though,
these are seasoned veterans. They must know that this is what the game is.
They should have had these modes weekend 1.
Yeah,
they should have. I don't think it's necessarily excusable, but now that we know what this game is with those modes, my excitement is no joke. I finished that like session yesterday, and I'm like, okay, we got only a few more hours with Concord this weekend. I'm gonna get some Concord in tonight. If that means I have to push not watching House of the Dragon tonight, I will do that. I would rather play Concord this weekend because of that opportunity cost of it going away tomorrow for almost a month. Like, dude, I want more of it. I want more of it now.
I went from very skeptical, this is dead on arrival, it's totally cooked, to this could work. I'm not optimistic yet. I think it could.
I'm also at could. I don't think this is a slam dunk going to work. I do think that the product is rock solid, though. I think that now they have a actual value proposition to say this game is $40. I still.
How do you feel about the new maps? Do you know which ones are the new
I
ones?
didn't feel the difference in
I like
some of the
new
maps.
maps. I think they're cool.
Yeah. For me, that's interesting. I didn't even know that there was new maps, and I played, like I said, 6 hours this weekend. Maybe I played them and just didn't realize.
Yeah.
I mainly just remember like there's the like yellowy orange maps, and then there's the blue maps, and that's
the maps aren't really super distinctive, but I definitely knew that which ones were the new ones.
Yeah, but I had a great time with it. Concord weekend 2, fucking rad. Super stoked for August 23rd for that one. And like I said, if PlayStation does do, I think PlayStation should be
positive.
Yes, I think that they should make sure to get this in the hands.
And if it's not, if you don't see early reviews, they're not positive that they're going to get good reviews. You know what I mean?
No, I think that just might be their entire live service strategy is we're not going to do early reviews until day one. That's what they did with Helldivers, and Helldivers was fucking awesome.
Yeah.
So I would say that that's just internal strategy.
Helldivers also wasn't first party though, so there's that factor.
That's true. That is true. But I do think that PlayStation had a heavy hand in making sure that release was as good as it was and marketed the fuck out of it. And like Concord, we got a full state of play deep dive on it. Review, it was tough. Let's let in for that like cinematic, but the gameplay looked like it had some promise. Getting on the sticks, the gameplay does play very well, and now having those modes in Concord is fucking rad. I'm excited to play more. I had a great time with my weekend of Concord. I had fun for a minute. This is perfect for it. 2 very different games, college football and Concord. Same amount of fun per minute. Had a great time with both. If you like made me go and give a score to it, I would probably give Concord weekend 2 an 8 out of 10. Where weekend 1 I would give a 7 out of 10, maybe even a 6.5 out of 10. Like there was just so many moments of frustration of like this could be good, but it's not.
How do you feel about the vignette? Did you watch
I fucking skipped right over it. Didn't give a flying fuck about it.
It was cute. That's the problem though. Is like I think that's the baseline for all of these is that I don't know. Are they going to tell a full on fucking story in these weekly vignettes? No, you're just going to get like cute little moments.
Yeah, and that's my main thing is I'm not picking up Concord. After the first one, I was completely lost on. I'm not picking it up for the vignettes. I'll probably watch the first one when it comes out for release and everything and be like, dude, are you going to like tell a story where like, all right, a galactic war is going on and like try to really like get me in to like get excited about that next vignette? I don't think so, but I will watch that first one when it comes out and see what I think about it. But weekend 2 with the beta, it's the beta. It's weekend 0 still basically. I'm just here to shoot some shit and have some fun.
Are we calling this draft video games with cool art styles?
I was just gonna go video game art styles draft, or I
Or
mean
we're
that's a
drafting the
J
game.
Bob question. We're drafting the game, yeah.
So we're drafting the video
Video
games
game.
with cool art styles.
Yeah, okay,
Or interesting art styles. Okay. All right. I'm going first
Oh, yeah,
because you
sure.
went first last week. All right. Today we are drafting video games with cool art styles. I have the first overall pick, and you already know where I'm going. I'm going Cuphead. I feel like this game is the art style in a lot of ways. It could have probably just rested on having a really interesting and amazing classic style art style, but it's also an amazing game to boot as well. But the art style is definitely the shining achievement of this game. Cuphead with my first pick.
I'm gonna choose with my first pick, The Legend of Zelda Wind Waker. I think that the art style in this is super interesting. To go and take Zelda, or Link, which is, you know what you're getting with Link, and make it adorable and like fit the world and the vibe of the game really well. I really enjoyed that art style. I'm going with that with my 101. With my 102, I'm going to choose an art style that is just so well defined at this point. When you think of this game, you think of the art style. I'm choosing Persona 5 with my next pick.
I would go Persona 3.
Persona 3 was the other.
Reload over that.
Pick your favorite. You know, like the art styles in the Persona games are unbelievable. We didn't ask this. Are you allowed to pick same franchise?
Yeah,
Okay.
but I don't think I'm going to now.
Yeah, I don't think so either.
With my second pick, I'm going to go with Ghost of Tsushima. I think that the foliage in this game is really the shining achievement. This game has so many good looking colors in it, dude. Your pinks, your blues, your purples, your whites. Oh, it's so good. It looks amazing, dude. It's just like, that's probably my favorite part of the game is the art style. So Ghost of Tsushima with my second pick. With my third pick, I'm going to pick a game that I've never played, but the thing that I know about this game is Okami. It's the art style, dude. The art style is amazing. Even the cover art, you're just like, fuck, man, this game looks amazing. And every bit of footage I've seen of it, it looks amazing. Okami with my third pick.
When you said you hadn't played it before, I was like, he's 100% picking Okami.
I thought about doing it first overall, but I knew you wouldn't pick it.
Yeah, that's
so
fair. I'm going to choose a game with a rad art style. Shout out to our boy, Andy Cortez. I'm choosing Hyper Light Drifter. The art style in this game just oozes style. It's like so crazy how they make these pinks vibrant, and it fits the name well. Like, this game is awesome, and the art style is the shining achievement of it. With my next pick, I'm choosing Undertale. Pixel art at its finest. I adore Undertale so much, and the way that the character designs fit so well. And then when you get into combat occurrences and exchanges, you get so mesmerized by these dark blacks, whites, and then the way it just fits together and hits. The way that they use color in this game, it is so impressive. I really, really enjoy the art style of Undertale, especially the character design. I think the black and whites really just nail it quite often.
I feel like when it comes to talking about art styles, you're looking at indies for the most part.
Oh,
So,
yeah.
Undertale's a great
Undertale,
pick.
Cuphead.
Yep, Cuphead. I'm not going to draft it, but Hollow Knight I think is up there. But for my last two picks, first of being for my number 4th pick, I'm going to take Octopath Traveler. You can take one or two, but I'll just take one because it's the one that I've played. I love pixel art. I love the HD 2D art style. This game looks immaculate, and it is timeless. This game will look as good as it does today in 20 years, without a doubt. Octopath Traveler.
That is how games work. It will look as good as it does today as it will forever.
That's not true.
Oh yeah, things do age poorly. You're correct. Yeah, I'm a moron. I'm sorry. I'm an asshole. I was just trying to be a dick.
With my 5th pick, I'm going to go with Night in the Woods, an amazing little indie game. The art style supports the overall tone and story of this game. Night in the Woods with my final pick.
No Hotline Miami?
I thought about it, but people think that game's ugly, and it pisses me off. People are like, "Oh, it looks like a fucking Game Boy game." It's like that. I got comments on that on the top 50. I think it looks amazing.
Yeah. With my last pick, I'm choosing a game that I've played a bit of. I'm choosing Ori and the Blind Forest. Talk about a game that just nails vibes with its art. It is so freaking gorgeous. The way that also it utilizes color, it makes you feel so small with the darks in the background, and then you're just a ball of light and hope. It really hits the messaging of what this game's trying to do thematically, but also from a gameplay standpoint. with its colors and with its art style. And I got to give it a shout out for my final pick.
I think I cooked you. I think I absolutely cooked you, brother.
I got Undertale, Ori, Zelda, Persona, and Hyper Light Drifter. I love my squad.
Oh man, I got Okami, Cuphead, Night in the Woods, Octopath Traveler, and Ghost of Tsushima. My God! Shout out to Breath of the Wild. I had on there.
Yep, that's a good one.
I had Donkey Kong Country.
Okay.
I think that game looks great today, as it did back in the day. Bloodborne, I think, has an excellent art style, even though it runs at 14 frames per second.
Yep.
Shout out to Borderlands 2.
I have Borderlands 2 on my honorable mentions.
Go for style, go for art style, and you'll be timeless, man. Like that game still looks great today because it has that cell shaded art style. Shout out to Transistor.
Mm-hmm.
I think Transistor is the best looking Supergiant game, but you could go with Hades if you really wanted to. So Transistor, and then Hello Miami, like we said. Journey is probably the first off.
So I have Journey at my number 6 spot.
Yeah.
I actually didn't pick it because I wanted to shout some other awesome games out.
Right.
Like Hyper Light Drifter for me, I'm like, do I think Journey's a better art style? Probably. Hyper Light Drifter is fucking rad though.
Yeah.
So I have Journey as an honorable mention, BioShock Infinite as an honorable mention. I think that the world of Columbia is just like so vibrant with its colors and really, really impressive, especially going from BioShock, which is very dark and dreary. I had Okami on my list. Street Fighter 6. Holy shit, what an art style. The way that the punches work and like the
Street
flashes.
Fighter 2 though, Nick.
Street Fighter 2 is great too, but I genuinely think that Street Fighter 6 is just
my boy.
so fucking unbelievable. Borderlands 2 I had on there.
Marvel vs. Capcom 2 looks amazing.
And the last one I want to throw out, Loco Roco. I think that game is so adorable with its art style.
Yeah, that's a great
I
choice.
really thought about, once again, like I'm okay if I got cooked in this draft. I just wanted to shout out games that are for me are like this. We don't talk about some of these games enough. Like we don't talk about Wind Waker on the channel nearly enough, and I think the art style is really impressive. Night of the Woods, great poll.
Octopath Traveler as well.
Yeah, like there's and so the art styles allows us to have a pretty cool conversation because I think art styles are super important in gaming. And like you said, the way that certain games are just timeless with their art styles, really impressive.
Yeah. Dude, pixel art is a lost craft nowadays. And Octopath isn't even full on pixel art. It's the HE2D style.
I was about to say
but
Dragon Age, or not Dragon Age, Dragon Quest. You excited for those? They look so gorgeous.
It's coming up, man. October, right? I believe.
I have no idea.
Too many games, man. Too many games.
There's so
and the
many
fact that we're
games.
almost in August, it's freaking me out.
We also still do not have this year. Like this year, we have like I think 8 or 9 guaranteed reviews left coming from the channel. We still don't have a date for Avowed, Indiana Jones, Dragon Age: The Veilguard.
What do you think gets pushed, and what do you think is definitely coming out this year?
I've watched a lot of Avowed interviews. They are like, it is this year. So, and they're like, is it? They're like, it is this year. It is 100% this year.
Nice.
And so I think that they're like really trying to nail that and make sure that that is the messaging on it. I'm nervous about Indiana Jones at this point. I thought Gamescom makes sense with the way that they said Xbox's presence is going to be at Gamescom. We could see what happens there. And then, so I do think that potentially that gets pushed by, I'll say it's this year. Why not? And Dragon Age Veilguard is this year. I firmly believe that that's this year.
Of the 3, Dragon Age is the one that I'm the most concerned about.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, I think I really want them to get it out, but also I think that they know it needs to be great. And I think that the end of the year is stacked in such a way that I don't really think they have a lot of room.
I don't want to fuck around with 2025, dude. I don't.
I think you can go early in 2025 and be safe.
I mean,
if you do January or February in 2025, I think you're okay.
dude, but what's
coming out in January? February?
Potentially Monster Hunter Wilds. I don't want to fuck with 2025.
Monster Hunter Wilds is one game in comparison to like fucking 10 that are coming out.
Metal Gear Solid Delta.
That could come out this year.
It's not coming out this year.
I think that could come out summer of next year too.
Yeah, I think so too.
Yeah.
I wouldn't want to mess with potentially a Switch launch.
That's May or March. And I think so. I'm saying January, February for Dragon Age, I think is a fine time.
Yeah, I just don't want to. I like 2025. Every single time we talk about it, like I've already looked into some 2025 stuff for company purposes and everything. I'm like, dude, it's so stacked. It is the biggest year in gaming ever, most likely.
Another long pod.
What, an hour 40?
Hour 48.
How did we talk about review scores for like 50 minutes?
I love talking about. I mean, like I love a longer discussion. I want these podcasts to be as long as they need to be. That is the perspective. I don't want to cut us off arbitrarily just to like hit some sort of quota or like we hit our time, so we can finish up now.
Yeah.
I don't like that. I just think that if we have stuff to talk about, we're going to talk about it.
Yeah, I do also enjoy the fact that we're just able to yap it up. When we used to shoot on Wednesdays, it was an hour. We had an hour. We had to get it in an hour. Now shooting on Sundays, post shooting all of our other content. Brady rolls out after we shoot the TikTok content, so it's just Connor and I in the studio area. It's my living room. I mean, this whole thing does feel like a studio. Like this,
I mean, like from this perspective, from a camera perspective, I think it looks really solid.
Yeah.
But from it being in here, it's like
looking around, it's hysterical.
This is your living room.
Yeah, there's my TV and there's my rug.
You have to pull the computer like into the middle of the room so it can reach to the camera. It's ridiculous. We're just making it work. All right, that was your casual gaming conversation for this week. We're coming up on episode 52. We're almost at a year of doing this podcast, which is crazy.
Fuck, dude, that's wild.
Yeah, but just a final reminder: Extra Life August 3rd. Streams Monday through Thursday, 7 Eastern Standard Time on twitch.tv/co_op64. Merch and Discord link in the bio on the TikTok if you're looking to be more involved in the community and support the channel. BioShock Infinite review next week. So if you want to play along with that, go for it. If you don't want to play along, we're still going to have the opportunity to write in, but you're going to need to be in the Discord to do that. So if you want to write in your questions or experience with the game, I just want to hear people's takes themselves. Like, I don't even want it to be like, what do you think about the gameplay? Which, fine, if you want to ask about questions about that, that's great. But like, I want to hear. I want you to be a part of the show. You know what I mean?
We want to read what you think.
Give me your thoughts as well. So we're going to do that as well and give you shout outs on the discussion next week. So BioShock Infinite next week, be a part of the show. It's a slow period and we get to do fun episodes like this. I think this is really cool to be able to do this.
We have, like, no joke, 2 more weeks after that, and then it's like, fuck,
And we got
dude.
Black Myth coming.
Black Myth, Concord, Outlaws, Astrobot, and then we're missing things like Secret of Mana or Visions of Mana and Warhammer, and we also have Stalker that we're gonna. Oh my god, dude! It's so many games.
It's gonna be fun.
So excited.
It's gonna be exciting. But for now, we get to enjoy the slower period.
It's also good to say we do try with the review episodes that will be incoming. We will also have separate discussions with time codes to make sure that we're not just only reviewing a game unless it's a really major release and we end up talking about it for like an hour and a half. We might not have a full extra side conversation. It might be just a quick question or something like that.
Right on. Thank you so much for hanging out with us this week.
If you made it to the end, I want to know from you. Are you playing college football? And if you're not, why? But if you are, who are you playing as? Because I want to go in and get some games with this awesome podcast community that we've built on the YouTube side and the Apple and Spotify side.
All right. Thank you so much for watching. Peace out.